are watching on YouTube is what I got signified. So I'm just going to start right now. Or I might start some music up again because I have a few more things to talk. But welcome to the live stream tonight. The topic is the UFO disclosure stuff that's happening. If you're watching this on YouTube, I have a poll in the chat. Do you think that David Charles, I guess it's Grusch? Grusch? Is it Grusch or Grusch? It's Grusch, the military whistleblower. Do you believe him or not? Do you think he's telling the truth? And so if you are on YouTube, you want to make sure that you vote in the chat. Tonight, I am actually live streaming on Facebook as well as Twitter simultaneously. So hopefully that when I share different, screens and stuff like that, that it doesn't get, it's the first time I'm trying this in this location. The Wi-Fi is pretty good here. It's 5G. And if you are watching me on Facebook right now or Twitter, I really can't see any of your responses. I might go onto the Facebook page. I stream off of StreamYard. So, and usually, I mean, before it's always, the chat's always been kind of like interfaced with YouTube. So if someone's in the chat and says something, for example, Rui was here. I don't know if he's here now, but he made some comments before the show started. So you can see how I can tag his comment up there. I'm mainly talking to my Facebook friends at the moment. I don't live stream on my Facebook page as much, but hey, everybody. Okay, so I do want to have the discussion. I'm drinking. I opened up a little kombucha. Do you guys? It's not kombucha. It's kombucha. Do you guys drink kombucha? I do sometimes, especially I do it like when I like the live stream. It's supposed to be good for your gut, right? Probiotics. This one is ginger and lemon, and boy, does it have a little bit of a bite of lemon in it. All right. So I wanted to, I have a lime tonight, and I'm going to add a little avocado to my tacos. Tacos is my favorite food. I guess it was like a week and a half ago or so. I made tacos on my Twitter stream and talked about a few things. And that was with ground beef. And it was the recipe that I grew up, on. And so tonight, though, because I don't know, I kind of feel sometimes that I don't want to eat too much meat. I know that probably sounds weird, and I might offend some people. Like, what do you mean you don't like to eat meat? But I do like to eat meat. Like one of the reasons why I think I can never really be a vegetarian is because I just love tacos, like carne asada, ground beef, carnitas. No matter what, it doesn't matter. But so anyways, I have the tomatoes chopped, and but tonight I thought I would try soy. All right. Now this might be freaky to some people, but and really this is an experiment. I have never prepared this before, so when I taste it, I will be completely honest about what I think about it. So, light, smart ground, plant-based crumbles, Mexican tacos. I saw this at the store, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a stream with showing this, trying this out. So now I kind of want to just like for the fun of it, I kind of just want to read the back of it. It's our smart ground Mexican is a zesty and flavorful plant-based crumbles made with simple ingredients you know and taste and you'll love. It's packed with protein. Oh, it's hard to see right now. It's like the light's kind of weird. That's why I don't normally read this slow. It's just kind of hard to see. All right. It's packed with, let me put it over here. It's packed with protein, but low and saturated for a guilt-free, you can and great taste without and enjoy. So it says it's guilt-free, and I'm thinking, okay, so it's guilt-free because it's not saturated, so it's guilt-free. So I mean, I didn't realize that, eating soy that doesn't have saturated fats was gonna like make me feel more guilt-free, but it doesn't really. I mean, it's just kind of thinking that maybe I want to try a variety, and also for the people out there who are vegetarians, I mean, maybe you want to, maybe this is like a little solution. So, I'm going to continue. With a little more music and chop a few more things. And then the directions for the soy meat is you put a little bit of oil in it, and then we're going to go from there. Hold on. I'm cutting a little lime now. I wish I had like a cerveza or a beer to go along with it. So I'm going to add that just to here. Okay. As I cut the avocado, I'm going to go ahead. Okay, I don't know if you guys know this. A lot of people on YouTube probably already know about because I've been involved or interested in the UFO media. So this is a really interesting time that is happening right now. And the main news story, the news story mainly broke on a network called News Nation. I did a little research on News Nation because a lot of times you can see, you see a lot of different articles come up and different claims of UFOs or just anything. It doesn't even have to be about UFOs. It could just be any information that's out there. And it's really hard to discern what information is actually valid or not. And there's a way that you can actually check websites, see if, who funds it, see if it is right-wing biased or left-wing biased. And News Nation. Matter of fact, I might just go ahead and, hi, Rui. Nice to see you. Yay. Somebody finally said something. I have my glasses. What did I do with my glasses? Because I was trying to read that other box over there. Okay, here it is. How are you tonight? I once put the seasoning in the, I am not seeing well tonight, in with the barbecue baked beans. Oh, that's funny. Maybe I had to clean these better. Or actually, maybe I can even read it better over here. I don't know. It feels like my screen is, maybe I can get it to be, oh, no. I don't want to be that big. Wait. Exit full screen. Oh my God, that's weird. Okay, that's better though. I don't know why. It seemed like my okay, that's better. I can read better now. All right. It was like kind of like squunchy. It was like small there. Yeah, that's not good to put your seasoning in the baked beans. It's the wrong area. Although I have refried beans tonight that I thought I'd add to it. And so I should probably get that started while I'm cutting up other things and adding I don't know why I like cooking and just talking and just kind of doing a show like this sometimes. It's like a little bit different. Okay, but anyways, News Nation, and let me pull this up about what News Nation is, just to put it out there. But when I read it, it actually started originally as being an unbiased news source. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen so you can kind of see where I Googled it. Although I did read an article where some of the people that it's fairly new, and when they hired their team, some people left because they felt that it was actually right wing. But the network is started by the Nexstar Media Group Inc. So it's actually a legitimate news source. It's not, it might lean a little bit right, but it is actually a legitimate news source. Now, one of the videos that I did pull up, and I'm going to like source fair use on it. Put that out here. I want to go ahead and play this for you. Wow, I just saw my own show pop up. If you're watching, say hi. I don't know why everybody's so quiet tonight. Come in the chat and say hi. And also, vote. Do you think this is legitimate or not? All right. So, this was like done 2 days ago, and she has hopefully I say this right, Michio Kaku, and he's a famous scientist, and he's giving his take on this whistleblower and what they're saying, because the whistleblower is saying that, and here's my problem with it, or before I play this, why I'm kind of like, you can't, like he'll say in this video, he goes, well, but we don't have the smoking gun yet. The whistleblower is saying that he's aware of the fact, there's the secret government has technology, and there's been, I guess, I don't know what you call it, aircraft, spaceships, or whatever that I guess crashed, had alien life in it, that he confirms that people that are higher up have told him this. He's seen the documents. I'm not sure if he said, maybe some of you guys know whether or not that really happened. I mean, whether or not he said that there was, damn it, where am I in this? Okay. That some people said that wait, hold on. I got distracted there for a second. Some of the claims is that there were non-humans flying the aircraft, and he's claiming that he's either, I don't know if he said he's seen these people or not, but he's seen the documents, or he's been told by higher up people that this actually really exists. But there's still no firsthand testimony. It's just this one person saying that this happened, and that there are people that but he hasn't shown the documents. He's basically just saying it. Like, this exists. For some reason, he can't show the documents, but he's saying that he's been told by certain officials that this is true. And just even in journalism, you have to question that, because whenever you're giving a story, it's really important to have attribution. And the fact that he doesn't have, like, he can't name who his source is, David can't, and because of the fact that he's not showing any documents, in my opinion, that's kind of a red flag. It's like, okay, so you're coming forward, you're saying that you work for the military, in this particular department that found UAPs, but you don't have like an official attribution on what that is. So I'm going to go ahead and play this here. And get started. Again, I'm having fair use. And here we go.
Well, journalists say, follow the money. We physicists say, follow the evidence. Follow the people who have access to the evidence. Now, this is right out of a Hollywood script. In the past, we've had farmers and suburbanites say they saw something out there. The burden of proof was on them to prove that they were extraterrestrial visitations. Now the burden of proof has shifted. Now the Pentagon has to prove that these aren't extraterrestrial. And now we have the senior Pentagon official, former Pentagon official David Grusch, who says that there are evidence of not just the wreckage of UFOs, but an intact vessel, perhaps even the bodies. And again, the difference is that this is no longer just a farmer or a suburbanite saying they saw something out there. Now there is a debate within the Pentagon itself at the highest level, with different people within the military contradicting each other. And so I think that this is a good thing, because now perhaps the truth will come out.
So one of the claims that David Grusch makes is that the evidence he has witnessed suggests that of the crash wreckage, some of the crash wreckage that's been retrieved, the elements are not of human origin. And he also states that they've recovered pilots, maybe singular, but it seemed as though it was of non-human species. And I can only imagine that that sort of gets your spidey senses tingling. What are your thoughts about that kind of possibility?
Well, I'm a scientist. We have to be open to the truth and to data. That's what we physicists work on. The more information we get, the better. Now, so far, we have not seen the smoking gun. We have not seen evidence of DNA, for example, from these alien bodies. We haven't seen alien transistors and alien circuits. That would clinch it right there. No ifs, ands, or buts. As soon as we have alien DNA or an alien chip, end of story. However, we're not there yet, because we just have eyewitness accounts of people who've encountered these things, but we don't have the smoking gun. And until we have the smoking gun, we scientists have to reserve our final judgment. But the very fact that we're talking about this at all is amazing. The burden of proof has shifted. Now the Pentagon has to prove that these aren't extraterrestrial. This is, I think, a milestone.
Yeah, I mean,
So that's really fascinating to me right there, that this conversation is even happening. But I think I agree with him. He's making a very important point, is that we still don't have a smoking gun. And so I'm going to continue here as I prepare this dish. So we'll keep going.
the fact that you and I are talking about this, and not because it was on, News of the World or a supermarket tabloid, is pretty remarkable. This is coming from a man who was an Air Force veteran, former member of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. He's a whistleblower. He's not, a quack. And so I'm, on one hand, I can't quite believe that there's a non-human pilot that was recovered. On the other hand, sometimes I wonder if we just think we're way smarter than we are. And by the way, Dr. Kaku, you're one of the smartest people I've ever encountered. Do you sometimes think we're only at the nascence of universal knowledge?
Yeah, I think we're just beginning to understand how gorgeous this universe is. The fact that we've now seen so many planets orbiting other star systems, they could be homeworlds to other intelligent beings. And we now have a census of the Milky Way galaxy. Every star on average has a planet going around it. In other words, think about it, 100 billion planets minimum in your backyard in the Milky Way galaxy. And that's why I think that to assume that there's nobody out there is ridiculous. Of course they're out there. The only debate is to whether or not they can reach us, but yes, they are out there.
Well, then there's the debate, discussion, or fear. You can pick any of those, that they may be unfriendlies, they may be hostile. They may look at us as a nuisance rather than something that's fascinating, if that is the fact, if they do actually exist. Can you speak to the...
All right, and he's going to give an interesting answer to this. But I also find, this is a narrative, because the last few days I've been watching this go down. And I looked at different networks besides this one that's talking about this topic and the whistleblower. And one of them is the New York Post is, Fox News is. But yeah, let's think about this. This is these are more right-leaning outlets. So it kind of makes me wonder, all right, but why is it just how come CNN hasn't really picked up on this? I don't think CNN has. I don't think it's coming out on a big level. It's mostly we're seeing News Nation, and then we're also seeing Fox News. As the night goes on, I'll search, because I really haven't done a clear search to see, a thorough search on this. But that's my take on it. Now, on the in the YouTube world and in the online media, a lot of people are talking about this. I just looked at that Ben J. Porter. What on his network today was talking about it, and I tuned into a little bit of it. Stephen Cambion from Truth Seekers has been talking about this, and I've watched parts of a couple podcasts, but live streams of him talking about it, and he's a lot more skeptical about what's going on. And as a matter of fact, I saw him make a post on Facebook where he was saying that he was now being shadow banned on Twitter over it. He said that people that are talking in opposition of this type of UFO disclosure are getting shadow banned. And I find that kind of interesting that they would be shadow banned on Twitter, because Twitter seems like the place that you can say anything that you want. I guess I should probably enlarge my screen a little bit while I'm talking here. So or maybe I'll just hold on. I have this other one that I do here. I guess that's okay, right? So I can talk and then I can change around. That's not a bad one. Huh. Or maybe yeah. It's half and half. All right, so there's just a lot of different types of opinion, takes on it that people are talking about it. We've seen so many movies about UFOs all our lives. And, there's the theory that, I don't know. Actually, I think it was Pew Research or something like that. There's a large percentage of people, maybe even I forgot what the exact number was, but it's over 50% that most people believe that there's possibly aliens or intelligent life. I've been personally really interested in the topic I even went out to, where was that area? The Integratron. I took a trip out to the Integratron and I took footage. And in that area, you know, there was the guy here. Let me look that up really quick. George Van. Let's see. Here, I'll show you this. This was built out in California because George Van Tassel, that's it, was said to have had made contact with extraterrestrials, and Howard Hughes was a donator to making it. And George Van Tassel owns an airport out near in Landers, California, near Joshua Tree. And he created the Integratron, and then Integratron was supposed to be a place where when you went inside of it, it never really got finished because he died. Here, let me enlarge. Let me give you a little bit more of a view on that. Let's see. No. Everything changed on this. Maybe it's this one. No. What the hell? There we go. All right. So this is out near the California Mojave Desert. George Van Tassel was a former aircraft mechanic and a flight inspector who moved to California's Mojave Desert to operate an airport and inn. While there, he began mediating under giant rock, which the Native Americans of the area held sacred in August of 1953. Van Tassel claimed he had been contacted both telepathically and later in person by people from space who gave him a technique, a rejuvenated human cell in a person by people from space who gave him a technique to rejuvenate human cell tissue. Acting on these instructions, Van Tassel began constructing the Integratron in 1954. Construction costs were partly paid for by annual series of successful conventions. So they had a lot of conventions at that time. And as a matter of fact, I interviewed his grandson on the Integratron. And back when I was on Revolution Radio, and I actually went out there and I took some footage. I should probably show that footage sometime and just recap this on a different video. I'm just kind of like talking about it on the spur of the moment. But at that time, they did hold a lot of conventions out there. They had a lot of meetings. People came out there. And also there's this rock that when it breaks, like before 2012, was supposed to be this prophecy that, that shift of the world was going to take place. So it's got an interesting history. If you look at UFO sightings, the UFO community, unfortunately, on YouTube, and that's one thing that I've been doing for those of you on Facebook or my friends that are, that I've worked with as a comedian out there on Facebook. I did go into like a media that kind of focused on UFOs, and I did a lot of. I've been very interested in whether or not there are UFOs, whether or not they have made contact. I watched the series Project Blue Beam. I'm kind of into things like make rockets and NASA and all that kind of stuff, just kind of like a little bit on the side. So when this stuff comes out about UFOs and like a real whistleblower that is starting to get picked up in the mainstream media in a way that we never really seen, I think that that's significant. I feel a little bit off tonight. I know it's like a little weird. I just feel I've kind of like I wanted to do this show on Wednesday, and I've had like a lot of negativity on the internet, and more specifically YouTube. Like even at the beginning of the show, and I'm waiting for my friend Jeff to show up because he's going to be a moderator in my chat tonight. If you do want to comment in my chat, you actually have to subscribe to my channel to do so. But that's kind of like a protection for me because overall, even though I am on YouTube, YouTube has been a pretty unpleasant experience for me. Although my focus tonight is not to really discuss those things because originally when I started my channel out here on Not My Rabbit Hole, originally when I started this channel, it was just like an extra channel that I had because I started a podcast during the pandemic. And I call it Not My Rabbit Hole because in this media that I'm talking about, the UFO media, the conspiracy media, the JFK type media, which you know, I got in that media because I went from doing cannabis activism shows, right, Hollywood Hemp for Sour, on the Time for Hemp Network, to going on to Revolution Radio and American Freedom Radio that looked into conspiracies that were also related to you know, like kind of like coast to coast stuff as well, sort of, you know. And as I progressed and stuck around doing shows, I still started out like a cannabis show, but I started doing interviews like with, you know, Max Spears, different super soldiers. I was really into like the super soldier thing, conspiracy. And as I went on, you know, you start to realize that a lot of it is kind of like a new age sort of, it becomes like another type of religion for people. And I think the fact that I'm even saying this in a way doesn't make me that kind of, make me that popular, because like, I think that when you're, I feel like playing some more music. Maybe I think I might play from here instead of there because I feel like I can talk and then like still cook and stuff while I'm going here. So I'm just gonna play it on my laptop. I play music from Epidemic Sound, so I pay a fee so that I don't have. It's like royalty free if I pay for it. So if I'm like streaming on Facebook, if I'm streaming on YouTube or whatever, it's like I have the right to use this music, and they have some really great songs. I keep saying that I'm going to put the link in there because if you are a YouTube content provider, you can actually have that link and you know, look at it. But so I got involved in, I got interested in the UFO stuff. No, I don't want to play Peter Gabriel because that's going to have copyright. Oops. And then I got to get these tacos going here in a second. But let me like play this one a little bit in the background. Because I kind of like to have music when I'm cooking or talking. I kind of feel like when I do these kind of shows where I'm just sort of in my kitchen, it's like sort of an experiment to say, hey, everybody, welcome to my house. Welcome to, I'm going to talk about UFOs for a little while and just tell you some stories. But one of the things that Chad Meek is George Van Tassel's, nephew that I went out to the Integratron with. He showed me pictures of how like L. Ron Hubbard and, like that, because it was during that time, right? When there was Jack Parsons, L. Ron Hubbard, and like all these different, sects or movements going on. And there was this kind of like, it became, like there's star seeds and it's new age and there's like, there's an ascension that a lot of people talk about. And let me go to here. And so, you know, you start to notice there's a lot of grifters, that it's nothing different. I should probably get this going on here. It's nothing different than any other type of religion that is making money from a nonprofit, because it's a nonprofit and they don't have to pay taxes. Like it kind of falls underneath that umbrella. And UFOs and aliens are just as strong of a pull in some ways as, let's say, you know, who just died? It was not Jerry Falwell, but the Pat Robertson, right? Pat Robertson, one of the reasons why his death is so significant is that he represented, you know, the right wing or the conservative vote. Like, he had an influence on that. And, you know, when you look at, I'm going to bring it up too, because the UFO community crosses over to the, what's going on, baby? Yeah? Crosses over to the 17th letter of the alphabet that happened. And like on YouTube, you got to call it the 17th letter of the alphabet. I mean, I don't know about like Facebook or Twitter. Twitter, I think you can actually really call it what it is. But since I am like, this is a soft taco night, and I am actually I'm trying to be lighter about what I'm talking about. I'm trying to like trip the algorithm so like people don't really understand what I'm saying. But within, like, when you look at the shaman, do you remember what happened on January 6th? When you look at the shaman, and he's wearing like, you know, the horns, and he's calling himself a shaman, he also calls himself a starseed. And I don't know if he has it now. I saw this footage where he was like on a corner and he was like, you know, touting the 17th letter of the alphabet. And he said, hey, man, I don't know if he said man, but he was like really like, hey, you know, all over the place on the street, you know, and he's like, hey, you know, I showed this clip on another show that I did. And he goes, I'm a starseed and I got this channel and we're going to woo, woo, woo. You know, it's like, and I don't even want to say the words, but, you know, everything that involved like with the Trump, you know, logos and everything with the Trump administration and the 17th letter of the alphabet. So the people that follow the 17th letter of the alphabet were going under the moniker of the belief of like, are you red pilled? Because like, and again, when I first started this channel and I was just going to do like a satirical rant about what was going on in the top, you know, in the world, not my rabbit hole. The reason why I call this not my rabbit hole is because like, that's not my rabbit hole. Like there's always the matrix, always going down the rabbit hole. And I think that in some ways it's a mind manipulation that has happened to people. Like somehow, some of that within that movement and however it came out on the internet was also connected and spurred to what was New Age. Otherwise, why would we have had a guy with his face painted, you know, in like as if he went to a football game and he's wearing horns and he's like saying that he's a shaman? Like, that's why there's a connection to this, because in this movement that came from back when with George Van Tassel, came back to the Integratron, came back to where anybody who's channeling, doing whatever, doing crystals, all that kind of stuff, all of that is connected to our belief in UFOs. And if you look at the folklore of aliens, or you even like, there's even some paintings, you know, where, I mean, come on, who hasn't watched Ancient Aliens, right? So in a way, we have a culture that is actually primed to easily fall into that scenario. And what I thought was interesting about that interview, sorry, refried beans, that interview on the News Nation that I just played now, is that she says, well, are they friendly? I mean, are they angry, or should it be something that we're afraid of? that we should be concerned about in terms of like them attacking us. And I think his answer that he gave was really apropos. Maybe we should go back to that part one more time. Or maybe actually I didn't play it yet. So let's go back. I interrupted and I got caught off and I went on a tangent about something else. So let me play that part one more time. Okay. Let me go back a little bit. My cat's acting up because he knows I'm doing a show. All right, here we go.
A nuisance rather than something that's fascinating, if that is the fact, if they do actually exist. Can you speak to the issue of hostility? And this, it seems like we're talking pie in the sky here, but if there is an issue of hostility, do we globally have a scientific community that can convince our political leaders around the world that we are far stronger as one than trying to be the leaders in whatever our programs are discovering?
Well, if you walk down a trail in a forest and you encounter a squirrel, do you go out there and try to conquer the squirrel and his habitat? No, maybe you want to try to talk to the squirrel. Eventually you get kind of bored because the squirrels don't talk back to you. But in the same way, if the aliens can reach us from outer space, they are hundreds, thousands of years more advanced than us, and we're simply not a threat to them. They could have done damage to us decades ago, but here we are talking about it. So I don't fear for them. However, there's always a possibility of what happened to Montezuma in Mexico City when Cortez and his troops came. The Cortez had gunpowder. He had the horse. He had, we think, smallpox. He had all the weaponry necessary to devastate the Mexican civilization. And so I think that we should not reach out to them and advertise our existence until we know what their intentions are. So I'm all in favor of the SETI project, which is to scan the heavens to look for intelligent life in outer space. But I don't think we should deliberately announce our existence to the alien neighbors we have in our neighborhood until we find out what their intentions are.
Hi, Anne. Yeah, that's a good point to bring up, that David Wilcock has been talking to squirrels. That's an interesting correlation there. Yeah. I think that personally, I think that what he said is pretty smart. You know, it's like, well, who's to say? I mean, what if they are? It's like he's always saying, like, well, they might, because they're a completely different species. What is their take or their perception or our ability to actually communicate with them? Now, when you talk, like when the UFO community or people say that they've had experiences with UFOs, they talk about that it's telepathic. So is it? I mean, and again, I mean, he's a scientist. He's got to have hard data, and even in this video, he talks about that. Yeah, this is all exciting. There's possibility, but again, we don't really have the smoking gun. You know, we don't really have the real DNA evidence. We don't have photos. We're not looking at the aircraft yet. We're not, so when you don't have data yet, especially if you're coming from a scientific point of view, then, you can't just go, oh yeah, this is definitely for sure. And my problem with him, like, in terms of watching it, and again, I'm trying to have an open mind. I am trying to have you know, more of an open mind about this. I gotta watch food too while I'm talking. But at the same time, you know, you gotta listen to how the media frames something. Like, you know, you do have like, why is the journalist going, oh, well, you know, they might not be friendly. Okay, that is a valid question. Maybe they're not friendly, but then, you know, and I don't know if he's done it yet, but he makes the point that if they were unfriendly and they've already had the technology to be here in the first place, then why didn't they get rid of us already? So, I mean, if they could have invaded us already or done something to us. And I think, well, that's kind of an interesting point that he makes. Now there's this, I heard this a long time ago, like 10 years ago. And I don't know if you heard this at all, Anne, but there's this theory that, you know, the Illuminati or the cabal, the whole plan is like, it will be a false flag, that we are, that, you know, we're going to be told that now that aliens really do exist, that maybe our government did keep it under wraps. And if you think about like, well, why would the government keep the fact that extraterrestrials actually really existed? Is because when that movie Contact with Jodie Foster and you know who I'm talking about, the Matthew, somebody help me out here. Matthew Monahan. All right. That guy, right? Okay. That movie Contact, and you saw like how it, like at that time when they were looking at the possibility of another, you know, extraterrestrial life, all these people went nuts. All the, you know, like all the religious zealots went nuts. And then, you know, the New Age and everything else, and it was like a big circus. So maybe that's a reason why they would hide the fact that they've known that we have alien technology, or, you know, would they be hiding it because we have fear? Like, remember when the War of the Worlds came out on the radio, and it caused a big frenzy, and, you know, it caused a lot of, you know, people got scared. You know, it's like, why, you know, if our government knew that that aliens really exist, then I'm curious to know is like, well, why has it been kept secret? All right, I'm going to turn this down. Okay, so here's the experimental part. Yeah, you know what, David? I want to go back to the David Wilcock thing and the squirrel stuff. You know, it's almost like he was like, because his wife left him. I don't know. He's like a lonely guy out there in the wilderness talking to the squirrels. You know, I don't know. It was like the whole sort of strange, depressive David Wilcock state that he's been in. But however, okay, so what I gotta do, and what I'm gonna do, I'm doing this because I don't want to completely bore everybody here, you know, because it's hard to do two things at one time. I'm still gonna show like some more videos while I'm starting to get the pan ready here. But I'm gonna try making these soy tacos. Where did I put it? Okay, and it says I gotta put a little bit of oil in a pan, and I just kind of like warm it up a little bit. All right, so let me get the pan. I really hope this isn't just like absolutely atrocious. Hi, Malibu Sky. Nice to see you. It's been hidden because it proves they have free energy tech in. Oh, maybe so. Maybe so. David Wilcock called into Art Bell and said he is a time traveler. Oh, that's interesting. Art Bell was a great show. You know, it's too bad he's R.I.P. Art Bell. Yeah, I mean, think about the Integratron too, because like I was talking about the Integratron a little bit earlier before you got here, George Van Tassel in California, had an airport out in the Mojave Desert. And I met his nephew. I actually went out there with him and got some footage. The Integratron was never finished, but it was said to like rejuvenate human cell tissue, meaning that we could live longer and everything like that. And that it was called the Integratron because the higher beings, if you want to, if you think of it, well, if they are, if they have this technology, they're able to do that. Obviously, they're maybe higher intelligence or higher knowledge than we have. Said that you're not to charge any money for this. And I really find that profound because he died before he finished it. Can you imagine? Like, and then Howard Hughes put money into it. So if there's something that can be created like that, and if it was finished, like, and we could live longer, then is it possible that, he was taken out because there's so much money being made off of us for being sick. And now you can go there and you don't get the full Monty with it, but, I forgot to put the oil in this. Hold on, let me get the oil. See, this might be absolutely horrible. Okay, I guess okay, you gotta see this. Tell me if this is actually appetizing or not. I'm gonna like throw this around here and like move it around. All right. Okay, it says to crumble it up. That's what the soy taco meat looks like. I don't know about this. Okay, so rear. Okay, look, where do I want to cook this at? Front. I should do it in the front. Okay. Here. I don't know. I probably shouldn't crumble it up in my hands because that would be really tacky. But I'm going to crumble it up. And then while I'm crumbling it up, I'm going to find, or before, put this here. It's going to be hot. Oh, it got hot for a second. All right. All right. Let me find another video let's finish this video first.
I'm with you, but I always have been and I always will be. And if they do prove to be real, I'm going to be in your backyard asking to hang out with you while we figure this one out. Dr. Kaku, thank you so much. I'll just remind our viewers that your book is Quantum Supremacy. This conversation could have gone on for 6 months and we wouldn't even have scratched the surface of how much I want to talk to you about. So you'll have to come back. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
See how they say it? Fact-driven, unbiased coverage is how they are. That's the mission statement of their network. Chorizo, I love chorizo. And you know what? This is soy meat. And so I did do a taco show, like a recipe that I normally do with ground beef, and then I thought, well, let me try. I saw this at the store. I go, let me try this, and I will do like a soy meat. It's already seasoned to be, it's going all over the place. Well, it looks pretty real. It's plant-based. The thing of it is that it just doesn't smell. I have to say, it doesn't smell the same. And part of cooking is the smell, really. That's the first thing I'm noticing. But we'll see what the taste is like. I might hate it. So this is what it looks like now that I've chopped it up more. So it's starting to look more like ground beef, and it says you just get it to where it gets warm. So I already pre-chopped the onions, and I did that before I started the show because for some reason lately when I chop onions it makes my eyes water. Are you a vegetarian? Oh, you've never seen Keiku before? I've seen him, or I've seen him on a few shows before. Yeah, he's interesting. I can even play that. I can even play that again if you want, because you're coming in now. Let me start that over, because I played it in the beginning of the show, and it took a while to get the show going. So I changed the time on it so many times. Let me play it from like the beginning, so that you can. Let's start it over.
Well, journalists say follow the money. We physicists say follow the evidence, follow the people who have access to the evidence. Now, this is right out of a Hollywood script. In the past, we've had farmers and suburbanites say they saw something out there. The burden of proof was on them to prove that they were extraterrestrial visitations. Now the burden of proof has shifted. Now the Pentagon has to prove that these aren't extraterrestrial. And now we have this senior Pentagon official, former Pentagon official David Grusch, who says that there are evidence of not just the wreckage of UFOs, but an intact vessel, perhaps even the bodies. And again, the difference is that this is no longer just a farmer or a suburbanite saying they saw something out there. Now there is a debate within the Pentagon itself at the highest level, with different people within the military contradicting each other. And so I think that this is a good thing. Now perhaps the truth will come out.
So one of the claims that David Grusch makes is that the evidence he has witnessed suggests that of crash wreckage, some of the crash wreckage that's been retrieved, the elements are not of human origin. And he also states that they've recovered pilots, maybe singular, but it seemed as though it was of non-human species. And I can only imagine that sort of gets your spidey senses tingling. What are your thoughts about that kind of possibility?
Well, I'm a scientist. We have to be open to the truth and to
It
data.
makes you wonder, like, okay, there's like non-human species. Were they reptiles? That just kind of like flashed through my mind really quick. So anyway, I'll continue.
That's what we physicists work on. The more information we get, the better. Now, so far, we have not seen the smoking gun. We have not seen evidence of DNA, for example, from these alien bodies. We haven't seen alien transistors and alien circuits. That would clinch it right there. No ifs, ands, or buts. As soon as we have alien DNA or an alien chip, end of story. However, we're not there yet, because we just have eyewitness accounts of people who've encountered these things, but we don't have the smoking gun. And until we have the smoking gun, we scientists have to reserve our final judgment. But the very fact that we're talking about this at all is amazing. The burden of proof has shifted. Now the Pentagon has to prove that these aren't extraterrestrial. This is, I think, a milestone.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you and I are talking about this, and not because it was on, News of the World, or
I mean, so I'm going to stop that one there, but I'm just kind of recapping from earlier. That's pretty much what's going on. And this is like this conversation. I guess, like, when did he come out? Like, I feel like it's been like a week or so now that the whistleblower came out. Let me find. I want to show you like the whistleblower talking. I believe I can pull up one of those videos here on it. Malibu, I mean, are you still here? I mean, Malibu and have you guys, I mean, you think Dr. Keku is controlled? Why do you think that? I'm just curious, like, why do you think that? I'm curious. I don't mean to put you on the defense. I might say, like, okay, good, you're here. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm going to. I want to give you. Malibu? Have you seen this? Are you familiar with the whistleblower that came out? Are you familiar with the story? Let me look it up. Okay, yeah, David Grusch full interview, News Nation. Okay, here it is. All right, so let's look at this. It's like 11 minutes. And then I'm gonna probably start to. Okay, yeah, okay, good. Then I'm gonna play it for you. So you can see it now. I'm seeing it, and saying something. Oh, you're getting ready for work? No, it wasn't in California. This guy works for the military. So I believe it's a Pentagon thing. So it's not, you would think it would be California, but yeah. So this is like pretty much like one of the most, I think like I think it's the first whistleblower of this kind. Someone besides Corey Good. Okay. So I'm gonna start it.
Bombshell claims from a military whistleblower. UFO wreckage recovered by the U.S. kept classified by a secret government program for decades. Tonight, a world television exclusive you will only see on News Nation. Welcome to Elizabeth Vargas Reports, earning your trust every night. UFOs exist. The U.S. government found quite a number of them, and they are indeed of non-human origin. Those are the explosive allegations from a former intelligence officer tonight in a whistleblower complaint that the Inspector General is taking very seriously. 36-year-old Air Force veteran David Grusch is exposing what he calls a top-secret military program that has reportedly found wreckage of fully intact UFOs. The government now calls them UAPs, or unidentified anomalous phenomena. For years, there have been whispers and rumors that the government had aircraft of non-human origin. This report is the first evidence it might be true. The Inspector General has called Grusch's complaint urgent and credible. Tonight, we have a world television exclusive interview with the whistleblower in which he claims we not only have the aircraft, but the government has been keeping much of its secret from Congress and from the public. News Nation senior national correspondent Brian Enton is here with the story, and this is a blockbuster.
It is a blockbuster. It's really hard to wrap your mind around this. I've been working on this for the past couple of weeks. I'm still having a hard time processing all of it. All over the last couple of years, it sort of became mainstream to discuss UFOs. The government has released videos. They've acknowledged that we don't know what some of this stuff is out there that we have on camera, but this really takes it all to another level. For the very first time, the world is about to hear from a former high-level U.S. intelligence officer who says the government has some of the unidentified craft in its possession. He is revealing these exclusive details about the secret government program.
We're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow.
We have all seen these blurry videos of unidentified flying objects. Video evidence, if you will, that old tales of UFOs may not all be conspiracy theories. In recent years, Congress starting an official U.S. government unidentified aerial phenomena task force, recently renamed the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO. And now in a News Nation exclusive, David Grusch, an Air Force veteran, former member of that task force, and veteran of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, is formally blowing the whistle on secrets he says no one has ever shared publicly before.
You are one of the most trusted former intelligence officials in the U.S. defense and intelligence establishment.
Yes, I was.
You were trusted with the most intimate secrets.
Yes.
Grusch sitting down with award-winning investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, who's reporting for News Nation and has spent years reporting on the UFO question.
What conclusion did you come to at the end of your time on the UAP task force?
The UAP task force was refused access to a broad crash retrieval program.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number.
You're kidding.
No. I thought it was totally nuts, and I thought at first I was being deceived. It was a ruse. People started confiding in me. They approached me. I have plenty of current and former senior intelligence officers that came to me, many of which I knew almost my whole career, that confided in me they were a part of a program. They named the program. I've never heard of it. And they told me, based on their oral testimony, and they provided me documents and other proof, that there was, in fact, a program that the UAP task force was not read into.
Grusch alleges the U.S. government has recovered non-human craft for decades. He's filed a whistleblower complaint saying he gave what he calls the classified proof to Congress and the Intelligence Community Inspector General. News Nation has confirmed David Grusch's credentials and resume. We've not seen or verified the alleged proof he says he's provided to investigators. He says he can't show us the proof for national security reasons. He also tells us he's not seen photos of the alleged craft himself, but has talked extensively with other intelligence officials who have.
If you're right, if you're telling us the truth, everyone, the entire American public, has been lied to for decades.
Yeah, there's a sophisticated disinformation campaign targeting the U.S. populace, which is extremely unethical and immoral.
You are saying to the human race, for the first time, an official intelligence representative at a high level from the US government is saying publicly, we are not alone.
We're definitely not alone. Absolutely, the data points empirically that we're not alone, yeah.
Do we have bodies? Do we have species of
Well,
non-human?
naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
It's also harder for people to wrap their minds around the concept of a crashed object from somewhere else. It's easier to accept that, yeah, we see things in the sky that we can't explain.
Journalist Leslie Kane broke Grusch's whistleblower story this morning in the debrief. Ms. Kane's career has been mainstream and credible, having written a series of reports on UFOs in the New York Times dating back to 2017. He has the credentials, but there's no documents that he's handed over. There's no pictures. And as a journalist, you want to see documents, you want to see pictures.
Right.
Does that
He's bringing up, I'm stopping it there for a second because he's bringing up a really important point. Because as a journalist, like, you do want documents, you want proof. You have to show the receipt. And right now, there isn't really a strong receipt other than this guy's testimony that he's made. Like, again, with the Dr. Keku, did I say that right? Probably not. You know, he said, like, there's no smoking gun. Now, I see that Jeff says he's a joke. So Jeff, why do you think he's a joke? Also, in this chat, I have a poll. If you think he's telling the truth, you know, like if you believe him or not. I don't know. I know it's in here. I can't see it on my end. But go ahead and if you see this, like, vote. Like, do you think that do you believe his testimony? I'm getting the feeling that Jeff doesn't believe his testimony. Oh, by the way, so I'm going to continue this, but I did get the let me go to a bigger screen here. I did get, this is a soy taco. This is what it looks like. It has, I put the beans, the soy meat, and also I've got salsa on there, and cheese. Oh, I forgot to, like, put a squirt of lime. Okay, so I'm gonna do like a squirt of lime right here. Okay. All right. And so I'm gonna, like, let it play again. I'm gonna take a bite out of it. Well, maybe I'll take a bite now. We'll be really messy, and then I'll tell you, like, it's huge. I packed it too big. This is a big freaking taco. Oh my God, it's actually good. It's not bad. It's actually good. Oh, it's really good. I need more salsa, though. Need more salsa. Wow. Okay, so lettuce, tomatoes, refried beans, Well, how long did it take me? It didn't take me very long at all to like heat that soy meat up. Nice alternative if you don't want to eat meat. This is good. And it's big, it's huge. All right. So let's continue this. And I'm gonna go. I'm looking for. Okay, this guy has to go. This is not what the show is about. So you've got to go. All right. No, it's not. It's not that kind of show. So you're not welcome. All right, I'm gonna have one more bite. And Davis claims to be Grusch's source. Really, if Congress doesn't remember, it shows that this is mostly grandstanding. Okay. Nothing David Grusch has said in any way is very different than what Aaron W. Davis testified in Congress in 2019. It's exactly the same claim. Oh, really? Should research that. Huh. So why do you think they're saying it right now, Jeff? Like, if it's a rehash of something else, then why are they doing the rehash? Is like what I'm curious about. Hey, Pondburger! Nice to see you. We're talking, and Johnny's list is here. We're talking about aliens tonight. The UFO disclosure. I'm not doing a drama show. Okay, guys? That's not what I do here on this channel. That's not how I started my channel. That's not how I'm going to end my channel. And I don't say my channel ending. Like, I want to go forward with other things. I made soy tacos. It was really delicious. I have no idea. It would be pure speculation. Right. Okay, yeah, it's speculation. But if it is a repeat of something that we've already known, I don't know. To me, when I look at him and I watch him talk, I just something's off. So let's keep watching it. Problem is, they don't have any attribution. There's no documents. It's just him saying it. And here we go. I mean, you know, I thought this too. Is it just a slow time in journalism? Like the news is just kind of boring, so we have to go, hey, maybe we should cover aliens. Wait, let me get the right thing here. Darn it. Here it is, right? Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Ourselves.
Of course, don't we all want that? And the problem with that is all of that information is classified. You know, as we said in the story, everything that Grusch told Congress and told the Inspector General of both the IC, the Intelligence Community Inspector General, and the Department of Defense Inspector General, all of that information is classified.
In 2017, Kane reported exclusively in the New York Times that the Pentagon had a secret UFO program. 3 years later, the Pentagon confirmed her story. Her latest report is even more explosive, but Kane says she has multiple sources who back up Grusch's story.
I believe it because of all the sources I have who have told me the same thing. So who am I to doubt these very, very high-level people who have been inside these programs for decades, have done their work, and are all telling me the same thing? I mean, I don't think there's some kind of conspiracy among all these people who don't know each other to make something like this up.
So I've got to be blunt about this.
Yeah.
You're not making this up. This is
No.
not a lie.
No, absolutely not.
Because everybody watching this right now is looking at your face.
Mm-hmm.
They're going,
Yeah, okay, so like the thing of it is like, why would he lie, right? Okay, I'll keep going. I gotta put some power up to my laptop. Hold on.
This guy for real?
I am for real. And I'm sitting here at great personal risk and obvious professional risk by talking to you today.
And just within the last 10 minutes or so, the Pentagon has released a statement to News Nation about this report. They say to date, AARO has not discovered any verifiable information to substantiate claims that any programs regarding the possession or reverse engineering of extraterrestrial materials have existed in the past or exist currently. AARO is committed to following the data and its investigation wherever it leads. AARO, working with the Office of the General Counsel and the Air Force Office of Special Investigations, has established a safe and secure process for individuals to come forward with information to aid AARO in its congressionally mandated historical review. AARO's historical review of records and testimonies is ongoing and due to Congress by June 2024, and AARO welcomes the opportunity to speak with any former or current employee or contractor who believes they have information relevant to this historical review. And Elizabeth, we know that David Grusch, he's filed that whistleblower complaint. He's been on the record under oath testifying to many of these things that he said in our report tonight.
Right, and it's important to point out that this statement from the Pentagon from AARO, Grusch is alleging that this top secret program is keeping it a secret from AARO. So.
Yeah, exactly. And if Grusch is, what he's saying is true, the spokespeople, all of those folks at that level wouldn't even know this was going on anyway.
All right, I got to ask you, he has a compelling story to tell. Very little of it seems like firsthand knowledge. Isn't he just repeating what somebody else has told him or somebody else has showed him?
Yes, that is what he's doing, but he says he's talked to a number of...
That's a really good question. And you know what? If you think about it, Jeff, it kind of like intersects with you. Like, is he just doing something and somebody else told him? Like maybe somebody else who spoke to Congress before? So, I mean, that's my problem, is that he doesn't really have any solid attribution. They're still running the story, which is interesting that they're allowing it to be told, even though there's no smoking gun, there's no real data on it. So why? I guess that is okay. I mean, in journalism, it is okay in some ways to like run a story by saying, I'm a whistleblower and I have, I'm a witness of it, but I don't have it. I can't show you the documentation. I've been told by so-and-so that I can't name. A lot of times that gets the green light, but in many ways it's not what you really want when you're covering a story. You want to have the source. You want to have the source say on the record who they are and what it is, because no matter what, that story is going to be weak. And these are the weak areas that when we look at it, we go, well, I can't totally believe it because we really don't have the real truth. Like I've always said, like if an alien comes out, when they come on TV or they come out with the president and they look a little bit different and they're like, nanu, right? I'm an alien. I came out of an egg. Then I think we might go, okay, that is true. But when you think about all the movies and things like that we've seen, that some people say, oh, all those movies are there, so they're going to prime us to eventually realize that we're not the only people alone in the universe, right? Even though that there's that theory behind that, it also makes us disassociate to where when we always think about extraterrestrials or aliens, it's just something that is in the movies. That's just a fictional story, and therefore it's not real. So it kind of has the other side of it, culturally. That's my opinion. All right, let's keep going.
People who are in very, very high level positions. He also had basically the highest level of classified material information that he was able to receive. We went back and checked over, his history, all of his credentials, checked out. check out completely. Unfortunately, there's
in addition, a couple people have come forward publicly to vouch for him, people who are high ranking.
They have. And this article first came out this morning, and I think it's interesting that, you know, there hasn't been any sort of effort to discredit what he has said either from the Defense Department.
So interesting. So what happens, you know, and have we had any reaction, by the way, from members of Congress who have been taking this seriously in the last couple of years? We've seen congressional hearings. We've seen NASA's hearing just about a week ago on UFOs or UAPs, whatever you prefer to call them. We've seen the DNI give a briefing to the White House on this. When we've been hearing whispers and rumors for years. I remember even former President Trump, when he was in office, sort of saying, "Oh my gosh, if you knew what I knew about UFOs."
Yeah.
So there's always been this intrigue.
There has. And think about it, Elizabeth. If you go back 15 or 20 years, if we were sitting here talking about UFOs, people would think that we were nutty. Now it's gotten to the level of where it is somewhat accepted because the government has come forward to a certain extent and acknowledged that there are these videos that exist. The Navy has released the videos themselves and said, we're not sure exactly what this is that we're seeing. Of course, what Grusch is saying really just sort of takes
It's probably because we had all those years of listening to Art Bell. There's a reason why we're like talking about UFOs is okay.
Next level.
Boy, it sure does. It's almost impossible to believe. All right, Brian Nenton, thanks so much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com.
I mean, that was like the first news report. There's been a whole bunch of other ones. And again, I'm really not an expert on this particular aspect of the apparent disclosure coming out. But you know, I've been watching Stephen Campion's take on it. And although I haven't, like, you know, I got to go back and watch some other things, he's really skeptical about it and also makes some pretty valid points. Again, I said this earlier in the stream before there wasn't any people here, that on Stephen Campion does a show called Truth Seekers, for those of you who might be watching me on Twitter, or actually, well, you would know on Twitter, but on Facebook. And, you know, he's busting a lot of the phony UFO people like Corey Good and the Blue Chickens and David Wilcock and a lot of the grifters that are out there in the UFO community, shucking and jiving and selling, you know, little trinkets and stuff like that are supposed to like heal you or get you connected to your ascension. But so, and there is a whole bunch of that happens, you know, a whole bunch of it, you know, there's a whole bunch of people that are making money off of the grift of the New Age alien concept. And, you know, I mean, go to New Mexico, drive to New Mexico, and you'll see, like, you know, how, you know, all of the alien signs coming up and the shops and the alien shops, you know, with the grays on it and everything. And so definitely, like in California and New Mexico, probably because of the Integratron and because of sightings and things, and, you know, what, you know, Roswell, that the alien culture is really prominent. But yeah, this is really interesting, I think. Malibu Sky says area 51. Yeah, did I call it something else? Did I say 57? Fake alien invasion is on the book, allegedly. Yes, see, that's the whole thing too. And you know, with the first video that I showed with Dr. Keku, you know, the journalist says, well, you know, is there concern that they're unfriendly? And I heard that too a long time ago, that, you know, that we're going to have a fake invasion, and then that's going to make us like have to go against fake war or fake enemies. Like, we no longer believe in the enemies in other countries, you know, as being real. We have to go out of it and create something. I know, yeah, there is that theory. Johnny says it's fake. Okay, so you guys, go ahead and vote. Like, what do you think? Do you think this guy is real or not real? 60 Minutes Australia. Is there something good on 60 Minutes Australia on it? Unnamed sources don't impress me. No, me neither. I mean, you know, if it's it has to be in order to go with something unnamed, it's like it has to be like Deep Throat. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be, like Watergate. In order to say, oh, it's a fake name or something, or you got to have here a voice that's muted. Here's my soy taco. Yeah. So let me see what's else out there. Maybe I can find like, oh, maybe it's not showing up. I did a poll. Is it near the top? Well, maybe I'll do a poll. Like if it's not here in my chat for you guys to vote, I'll do a community page and ask the question. Oh, yay! Thanks. I got 21 people watching now. It's just slow. It's a slow night. It had a slow start, right? Now I feel like 21 people. I can't really. I was gonna go. Maybe I'll go now and move on. But if there's 21 people watching, the alien. I think this is really yeah, that has to go. Actually, just for a moment, just for documentation purposes, this is really interesting, but I'm not going to make any commentary on it. Wow. Okay. So they're gone. And you know what? I have my chat is that you have to be a subscriber. You have to subscribe to my show tonight to actually make a comment. So it's really interesting. Thank you, trolls, for subscribing. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Okay. So yeah, that was boy, they really want to come after me tonight. But you know what? I'm not giving in. This is my live stream as my show right now, and I want to talk about the extraterrestrial stuff that's going on and just open up the discussion. I'm making tacos. I'm sharing some stuff about my life a little bit because I wanted, I just finished up. I went back to college. I don't know if you know this, Malibu. I went back to college starting in 2021, and I've been doing really well. And I'm going to the university and I'm working on a degree in digital journalism. As a matter of fact, just to take a little break from maybe like some of the alien stuff, one of the classes that I took is a mobile media editing class. And do you know that a lot of our newscasts, even when they use, like they have a stand-up or they show, an interview or a reel, a lot of it is just, it's pretty standard to shoot off of cell phones now. So the industry has really changed. And since, like even now, we don't even, like papers aren't even, like newspapers are getting less and less. There's a whole convergence happening it's happening on the internet. And so here, I wrote an article for the Rampage at Fresno City College, and it was on the Women Life Freedom Movement. And I would show you the video package that I did because also in my mobile media editing class, my professor knew that I was doing the Women Life Freedom Movement. And she goes, oh my God, that's a big deal. Why don't you make this your social media package and your stand-up package as well? And so I did. So I uploaded the package that I did. So I want to just share that really quick with you guys. I don't know if you've noticed it on my channel, but I'm going to go ahead and play that.
So we're gathered here on Women's Day, and we're representing the Iranian women's movement, which is on record the largest freedom movement in the world. And we were just trying to shed light on all the atrocities committed by the dictatorship in Iran and the lack of freedom, just simple daily freedoms here that we take for granted. People are protesting and just civil disobedience in Iran, and they're met by military confrontation, and they're being killed on the streets. They are ranging from kids, young kids, to teenagers, to adults. I mean, the regime doesn't discriminate. And if you oppose them, they don't give you any venue to peacefully state your uh, disagreements. They jail you. There's thousands of people in jail, from musicians to activists to just regular citizens that disagreed with the regime. This particular movement, I mean, there's been many to date, and many have paid the price with their lives. This particular movement that has been the largest movement to date was triggered by the death of Mahsa Amini, which during an event she had misworn her hijab, but partially showed her hair, and she was met by the authorities that enforce the hijab, which is the hair covering, and that resulted in her death. And she's certainly not alone. There's many, but she's become the symbol for the movement.
Can you imagine in America having this young woman, there's a couple pictures here with, you can see she's missing an eye. You know what they're doing? This isn't made up. This is a new tactic. They invent all these new tactics. They're using what they call less lethal force, or bullets, at peaceful protesters, and they aim for their eyes because they want to say something.
So that was like my internet got a little choppy there, but that was the video package that I did the interviews and I shot, and then I edited it, all of it. So and then there's an article that I wrote, and I kind of want to just share the article with you really quick. So before here in the chat, just so you can kind of see, like, and again, I'm also talking to people on Facebook, and I have a different relationship with people on Facebook than I do on YouTube. You know, I've shared the article, but also I have a lot of friends on Facebook that I grew up with and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of sharing, like, you know, I post things about, you know, being in college and going back to college and what it's like to be in college. I even actually started to do some stand-up about it. And I performed at one of the comedy clubs here, you know, and it went really well. It was, you know, and I tried out the new material about being, you know, 60 and going back to college and the jokes that came along with that. So I kind of wanting to do a thing with my YouTube channel. This is, I don't want to tell exactly what the demographic of where I live at, but they have events. I'm kind of going to check in and see about maybe starting to open mic night here for the summer. And then if that happens, I might do some stand-up that I'll live stream here on YouTube for that you can you can I'm monetized on YouTube, so you can get a subscription, and if you have a subscription, it would be subscription to see it, right? I would offer like some stand-up, because I'm gonna go back and do some. So let me find that I should have pulled this up, but I do want to like show you, because I wrote an article to go along with it, which I'm really proud of. I think this is probably one of the most important articles that I did. There's 2 articles that I wrote that I think are my best, because it's my second. I did 2 semesters writing for the Rampage. And I really feel that I got stronger this semester. I did an opinion piece about, like, it's never too late to go back to college, which was like a humorous piece, which I'm not going to share that one tonight. I'll say that one for another night, right? Can't do everything tonight, because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I wanted to also like recap, especially for my friends on Facebook, to kind of share this with them as well. And plus, you know, it'll give you a chance to watch some other young authors. But yeah, I want to, you know, I'm going to read my lead, because honestly, I had to really fight for my lead, because it was a soft lead. and it was more descriptive of what was going on. So I battled it out with the editors, the student editors, and I won. But it's Women, Life, Freedom, honored at Fresno City College, and I start out with large photographs of those who have lost their lives circled the room. Survivors' faces were swollen and disfigured from being beaten. Music native to Iran played while the crowd gathered for the Women, Life, Freedom event that was held at the old administration building at Fresno City College on March 23rd in honor of Women's History Month. Fresno Mayor Jerry Dyer shook hands as people snapped photos with cell phones. Dyer was to speak in support of Women, Life, Freedom, and that's my lead, my opening, and I mean, like, you know, when you write something, you go, okay, what's your favorite paragraph? And that kind of was, I'm kind of proud of opening it that way. That was I wanted to do more of a narrative story. And I actually got to take a picture of the mayor. This is the mayor of Fresno. And, you know, and I kind of love it too, because it says photo by Teresa Randolph. So, yeah, I'm kind of, and, you know, one of the organizers of the event, also when you read the article, the organizers of the event, which is really like the organizers of Women, Life, Freedom at FCC chose not to have their identities disclosed for security reasons. So this whole entire topic is even like, is controversial in more ways than one, even in a country that's more free like America. And I really, like, when I went to the event, I'm gonna do the share here. First of all, I didn't know anything about the Women, Life, Freedom movement until I got the assignment. And so before I did, look, everybody leaves when I talk about myself on YouTube, because probably like a large percentage of the audience that was here for a while actually are my enemies, unfortunately, tonight. Like I said, I broadcast on more than one media. Thank you, Palmberger. I'm glad you're saying that. I don't know why. Oh, here it is. Here's the article if you want to read it for those that have stayed. Yeah, I'm excited to I still did some student. I had a gig at the beginning of the semester that I got hired for, and then it was like a private party, and then I kind of in my mobile media editing class, we had to do composition photos, and so that tell a story. And so my professor said, why don't you go to the comedy club and do it, do that. And so I called them up and I said, I'm a comedian and blah, 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 blah. And I get my credits and I'm, doing this project, and can I come down? And then also, do you mind if I go on stage? Because it was like a open mic night. And they have an open mic night where they have a headliner, and then they have a bunch of comics, more regulars. It was really good. I mean, it was the crowd was good, even though it was an open mic night, and everything. And so I went up and I tried, and I just, I'm gonna brag. All right, I know I have haters on YouTube that tell me that I'm not funny and everything, and that I'm a failure. I'm a failed journalist, but screw them. I killed it. I mean, it was like I had never left. And then they asked me to come back and perform on when it was International Women's Day, but I couldn't do it because I was leaving I was getting up in the morning to join journalists all over the world to present some content and to host National Women's Day. So I did that in the morning, and then I was leaving the next day to go to the junior college convention in San Francisco, because I got invited. I was one of the students got invited to go to the convention. So I had 3 days of learning, all kinds of different styles of journalism. One of the things that I'm really interested in is documentary filmmaking. And so next semester, I'm taking a filmmaking class. In the summer, coming up, next week, I'm taking an astronomy class. talking about aliens and everything. I'm actually like taking an astronomy class. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about it. Yeah, I feel like one thing that I could do on this channel that might be fun is like incorporating, like actually maybe showing some stand-up, or seeing if I could do a venue and live stream it, like maybe here, and then you could see me do my material and everything like that, because I think that would be like something that I could give the subscribers, right? Something a little extra, something a little extra. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey there now to my haters. Thank you for tuning in. I love it. All right. Gotta love your haters. Oh, okay. Now, one last thing. Oh, so let's look a little bit more alien stuff, and then I'll close out. So let's see what other things are on. No, I don't want to go there. You know what I was looking at, and I wish I could show this, but it was like the deleted scenes from The Breakfast Club, which I was watching part of that earlier today, but because it belongs to a major film company, I'm sure I would get copyrighted for that. You can usually get away with showing like news clips, okay, UFO. News Nation. There was a sighting in California recently. I know, Malibu, you mentioned that. Oh, darn it, it keeps. Okay, so Congressman, here's another thing. All right, let's check this one out. All right.
Claim that the United States has a UFO retrieval program. Joe Khalil is following the latest on that. He is at the Capitol as well. So what can you tell us about the conversations that are happening around this, Joe?
Well, Marty, I can tell you that, as we've been reporting, there are certainly some interest in lawmakers trying to investigate these claims more, but a lot of that has been led by Republicans in the House. We know that the House Oversight Chairman, Jim Comer, and his committee, again, led by Republicans, they say that they're going to be holding hearings to look more into this. I can now tell you that this is actually more of a bipartisan effort, maybe than we had first thought. In fact, I talked to Congressman Jared Moskowitz. He is a Democrat on the House Oversight Committee. He says that he, too, is interested in at least exploring Grusch's comments, his claims. And he says...
Okay, see, again, it's interesting that it's become a bipartisan issue. And it's also interesting, I think it's interesting that why is this happening in the United States? Like it almost feels like a script, kind of like, oh, it's the U.S. that's going to give us the disclosure, and now it's a bipartisan thing. And when they say that, well, it's more Republicans supporting it. Well, does the fact that Fox News and it seems like more right-wing channels like the New York Post are actually pushing the story? I don't know, but it does. It feels like this has a slant towards the right. And I'm also going to point out that the UFO community on these platforms, on YouTube, on Revolution Radio, or whatever, they all had a right-wing slant. Think about it. Even James Rink all of a sudden started being right-wing. I mean, think about Simon Parks. Simon Parks loves Trump, right? So I don't know. I just find the fact that it's got a right tinge is about something that is about alien life. Why?
Says that if, in fact, there is something to it, then the American people deserve to know about it. So this isn't just a one-sided issue. There's going to be larger interest in pursuing what is actually happening, according to Grusch. And Moskowitz also weighed in on his view of Grusch's credibility as well.
He's a whistleblower, so obviously he has certain protections. You know, we obviously want to listen to what he has to say. We need to figure out how legitimate he is. But based on what he's saying, it sounds like something that we have to start asking some questions on. So I saw Chairman Comer come out and say that Oversight's going to have a hearing. I support the chairman. I think there are important questions to ask. And by the way, if there are
Absolutely, there are important questions. Yes.
things that the federal government is holding back from the American people have a right to know.
And Marty, just some new reporting from the Scientific American today that 16-member team that NASA put together specifically to handle UAP claims. They say that NASA needs better data and more tools to decipher what some of these claims and reports when people see UAPs actually are. The upshot of what they put out, again, just today on this new reporting, is that they're concerned that too often these reports end up not being able to be deciphered because we don't have the data, we don't have the tools to figure out what it is that people are actually seeing. And they feel like if there is a team that's dedicated to maybe making that data collection better, they could answer a lot of the questions. NASA team said, you know, most of these things that are in the air that people see, we can identify if we had the proper tools and diagnosis to do so. So that's something that they want to pursue, just an interesting thing that aligns with the timing of our story that NASA is trying to take this effort up, Marty.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News.
Okay, so yeah, that was that's the alien thing there. All right, so I'm just kind of well, I gotta thank Tams for the publicity then. Yeah, Shiz, I am doing I did a stream where I made tacos tonight with soy meat, with Mexican soy meat. That's the first time I did it. And I thought I would talk about aliens and I'm live streaming on 3 different platforms. So I'm on my Facebook page right now, and I'm also on my Twitter account. So yeah, I'm just doing a stream. I'm talking about aliens. There's been like some disclosure or what might look like disclosure coming out. We have a whistleblower, military whistleblower, saying that he had, you know, knowledge of, I know, with all the drama, did you realize that there might be, like, there's been claims of aliens. So there are a lot of people in the UFO community that are skeptical about it. I have my skepticism over it. It's kind of interesting to look at. So, and if whomever's still here, I mean, I'm kind of curious to find out. Maybe that will be my. I'll do a poll on my community page about whether or not if you've ever had a UFO sighting. Have you had a UFO sighting? I'm just curious to find out, like, what percentage of people have actually seen a UFO. I think I've seen a UFO before. I do. I really do. And I'm going to come back and say that. Well, actually, you know. Yeah, I mean, it kind of went like this, and it moved around. It did move in the right direction, and it was I was in Oregon, and I remember that it's almost like I almost feel like I had like, and this doesn't sound wacky, right? It's gonna be a little wacky, but I almost felt like I had this inner, like, either I was being told something telepathically or whatever, like, if you're afraid of us, you won't see us, was like this thought that I got, and then I said, okay, I'm not afraid. And then I saw this thing go in the light and dart around and whatever. So, but yeah, that was my experience. Most people, the government gonna push blue beam. Maybe, yeah. Did you watch? I watched they say it was really fictionalized, but I watched the first season of Project Blue Beam, which was really good. I see if it was every time I camp on a certain mountain. Really? That's cool. Oh, it's still, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was still going there. Oh, it was something playing in the background. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I had another experience where I saw a whole gush of light come up on one side of was really bizarre. Like the light went red, green, like really fast. The day was 10, 10, 10. And I was driving to a gig. It was on Fountain, which is between Sunset and Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood. And the light went green, yellow, green real fast. And it's like I saw this rush of light come up from the side of the street. I swear it happened. It was really weird. It's almost like I felt like I went through like a portal or something. It was really bizarre. And I hadn't been smoking any weed. So yeah. Not boring. Mountain bearing. Oh, yeah, you were on LSD? Well, there's also, oh wait, like what did you say? Hold on, I want to look at that for a second. I've seen a UFO before, a huge triangular ship right above me. But I was on LSD. I took a half a tab of acid one time at a David Bowie Nine Inch Nails concert in St. Louis, Missouri. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I think about that because I was like, I think I was like 34 or something like that when I did it, and but I kind of am glad I did it because it kind of flips your perception in a way that I'm like, whoa, and it doesn't really change because if you've seen it for once, you can always kind of think that way. It's like, anyway, does that make any sense? But they say on mushrooms, like Bill Hicks, like if you read it, the comedian Bill Hicks, if you read or there's a documentary and he talks about doing mushrooms, and he was a big fan of Terence McKenna. Who claims to, like, on mushrooms, he was able to see, other life or whatever, right? So there's that. But then some people think, well, what is that? Is that a demon? Is it a demon or is it an alien? There's also that belief that the Aleister Crowley lamb, in the occultism, that being is maybe a gray alien. I don't know what you guys think about that. I saw one time on Ancient Aliens, they talked about how, and it happened in Pasadena, there was some sort of like, it was like a Crowley ceremony, ritual that was like in the longitude between Pasadena and Area 51, there was a connection to that. And then like after they did that ritual, then the Roswell incident happened. I mean, there's this I don't know if it's mythology or what. I mean, I'm not sure. I think maybe David Wilcock might have said that part on Ancient Aliens. But I remember like watching an episode where they were talking about it. You don't think they're real? Now, see, this whistleblower, this military whistleblower is saying that there's proof that there was like it wasn't human that was flying the spaceships or the aircraft that they're claiming. Yet the spaceship crew are doing the spaceship crew are doing ops on the tube. Huh? Maybe you love Terence McKenna? Yeah. I've watched some Terence McKenna lectures. He's pretty cool. Yeah, he had that whole thing like, and even like Bill Hicks was behind that. The whole thing about like the evolution of man was the fact that, they became like, that end of the, like one of Bill Hicks' famous, thing about fear. There's two things, fear and love, and that whole thing about the world, is a game. It goes up and down and all around. It's shiny and bright, but it's not real. And, and then it's like, oh, but it must be real. Look at my car. Look at my furry. Look at my house. Look at everything in like my big bank account, but it's not real. And, yeah, and then at the very end, he goes, so let's, be able to like go past all of this and explore space because, with Terence McKenna, there's the belief that the mushrooms were part of man's intelligence and their evolution. Without the mushroom, we wouldn't be the conscious being that we are today. That's a theory, right? But now in biology and anthropology, the evolution of man started to happen when they ate protein and they were able to eat meat and this and that. Their brain got larger. And so, there was like, anyway, so there's the biology anthropology theory, and then there's the Terence McKenna theory, but whatever. Oh yeah, Crowley. What's interesting about Crowley is that Crowley was in communication with Jack Parsons, who ended up, with that JPL laboratory, and ended up, he's, making the rocket, launching the first rocket. So, and the fact that there's a really good series to watch on Amazon is Strange Angel, but he was really into Thelema, and L. Ron Hubbard, lived with him at the parsonage in Pasadena. And Crowley was right. And so was Anton LaVey, all those guys. Like the folklore or the truth is that in Pasadena, Anton LaVey and L. Ron Hubbard knew each other, and they said, in order for us to make a lot of money, we'll create our own religions. And he created the Church of Satan, and then L. Ron Hubbard, of course, was Scientology. Oh, speaking of Scientology, that guy, that 70 stars, he just got convicted for RAPED, right? Danny Masterson, I think it is. I wasn't never really that big of the 70 show. 70 Danny, I think it's Danny. Let me look it up really quick. Yeah, and he was a Scientologist. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you his face right here. He was a Scientologist. He just got convicted for RAPD, which involved narcotics. No, that's not the one I want. Stop. Wait. Here. He was sentenced 30 years to life. And then I watched a I don't want to show it because that might it's not necessarily like a news source. Maybe it is. Law, and there's a YouTube channel, a law channel that I subscribe to, and they did a news story where they talked about Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer, right? Armie Hammer and like I want to eat your rib guy, right? There's I think it's like a 3-part series on or maybe 4 about Armie Hammer and the Hammer family, and the allegations that those women came out on him. They're saying that Armie Hammer is probably not going to get any time or nothing because they go. I guess the judge was like, I don't know how to qualify this or how to convict him of this or what crime he really did. So I think Armie Hammer is not going to like pay for those weird tweets or whatever he did. But his career, they're talking about like, we think his career is over. Do you guys know who I'm talking about when I'm talking about Armie Hammer? He was in Call Me by My Name, and what else? Oh, he was in Social Network. He played the twins in Social Network. He did some a couple years ago, right? And then apparently Bill Cosby's in trouble again for something. Like another woman came forward about being drugged at the Playboy Mansion. Yep. So that's kind of interesting. I'm sub to an ex-Scientology channel that has put out some good stuff on that. Yeah, Scientology is real. Tom Cruise divorced his 3 wives when they were 33 years old. Interesting. That's 33, right? That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, well, I just kind of wanted to, one last thing before I go. Probably like in the near future, I have a bunch of stuff. Like I was thinking about like maybe selling it on you're gonna laugh at this. First of all, I the prepper stuff, like, you know, the food that you get that's supposed to live for 25 years. I accidentally overdid these boxes. So I was thinking about, you know, I'm thinking like maybe some people might want some of this food because I got way too much. And like, as part of like a fundraiser for my education too, because I've got a generator with solar panels that I haven't even used that I could cut down the price on. But I'm going to show you what, I might do like a stream like on Facebook, because I'm streaming on Facebook and stuff like that too, where you can, like if you purchase it, you know, you just have to pay for, you know, purchase it, and then I'll and pay for the postage. But I want to show you what I got. And I mean, here's just like a little bit of my stuff, but I got this solar oven, GoSun. It's really popular, but it's I have me open it. You're supposed to be able to like put your food in it and put it in the sun and it cooks. So like, let's say like, you know, aliens land and, you know, they take away our electrical grid and they're mean. This is how you can survive. And like I have stuff like this, like I've got like, this is like Patriots, you know, it's a multi-use flashlight. Another interesting thing, I'm gonna come back and get that in a second. So I have this as well. That's a kettle that you put out in the sun and it boils hot water. Yeah. So I'm going to be auctioning, or not, you know, like basically saying, hey, this is up. You want to bid on it? This goes towards, you know, the Tere Joyce, you know, college fund or whatever. It's just things it's a way of, I thought of like, you know, I got to get rid of some of the stuff anyways, and it's brand new. I thought, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and, you know, this is my merch that I have right now that I'm getting rid of. And so if you're watching me on Facebook, I am in a partnership program on Facebook. And you can, and I do have a birthday coming up. So 4th of July is my birthday. So if you want to give me a little gift, give me some support for the work that I'm doing, the journalism that I'm doing, or the content that I'm doing on YouTube, you can give me a star. And like, let's say like $1.99 gives me 200 stars. So anytime you see a stream or a video, look below there and you can give me a star that way. And support me that way on Facebook. Also, I'm going to put out a little banner here of ways that if you do want to donate or support my efforts here. My PayPal is Hollywood Hemtress Hour. There's my Venmo, my Cash App, and everything that I have there. I'm also on, if ever at a time on YouTube you want to support my channel, I can take super chats. And I'm probably going to do like a subscriber-based subscription here on YouTube where I'll be showing some stand-up for like a small fee, probably like $1.99 or something like that. Not anything really super inexpensive, but it would be a little bit something extra that would go along with my channel. All right, so that is it for tonight. And you know what? I have it. The dehydrated tacos. When the aliens invade, I do. I have dehydrated tacos. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can pull the can out. Hold on. Yeah, I am prepared. Here we go. Taco mix. You know, and I was thinking of actually selling it, but maybe I should just use this as it. I should try to make some of these, but yeah. yeah. I'm prepared. This is a vegetarian taco meat substitute. And it has I think it has a 10-year shelf life. 10-year shelf life. Yeah, baby. Okay. Oops, I almost tripped over my own merch. Yeah. I think when the pandemic happened, first of all, I had an RV at one point, and I was thinking about like doing this sort of the whole off-grid living, and ultimately, I would like to get a tiny home someday, and be solar paneled and everything else, and see how much I could live just by the sun. I just think that would, you know, My mom kind of likes that. She goes, "Oh, you're gonna like you care about your carbon footprint," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay." You guys, it's nice to see you here. Pomburger, Johnny's List, Malibu was here, Jeff was here, Shiz. Welcome to my channel. I thank Tams for talking about me so you can come over and check me out. Hopefully it's like I'm not the horrible ogre that I'm being painted to be over there, but whatever. All right, so I'm gonna play some music out, and I'm gonna finish my taco. It actually, I have to say, the soy Mexican meat taco wasn't too bad, although I did add refried beans and lettuce and juicy sauces, but the texture felt like meat. I don't know what it would be like if I just had that meat by itself. It would be good, but it came up pretty good. So not bad. And I'm gonna play some music. I kind of like this song. I'm going to end with this one.
Save my soul. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. I want to save my soul. Went up downtown. I went up downtown. Went up downtown. I save my soul. I save my soul. Save my soul. I save my soul. Save my soul. Oh, child, save my soul. Save my soul. Save my soul. Save my soul. Oh, child, save my soul. Save my soul. Save my soul. Save my soul. Oh, child, save my soul. 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 Went up downtown. I went up downtown. Went up downtown. I was walking out one evening late. Moon was rising high, headed for the riverside around this first and fly.
All right, bye, you guys. Thank you. And I am gonna say good night. I should have left right then, but